All right, gentlemen, take your seats. Let's get this over before lunch. Floyd Rose of the Homicide Squad has decided to take early retirement. We will all miss Floyd and the steely edge he brought to his police work. The department has arranged a wee drink at the Galway Arms to quench the mighty thirst a man gets from 25 years of police work. Floyd's departure leaves a place at the top table, and the chief has seen fit to promote Cole Phelps from burglary to the homicide desk. Stand up, Phelps. Take a chair. You're in the major leagues now, Sonny. Rusty Galloway, a fine lawman of the old school, will be taking you under his wing. Your first case is the murder of a woman, found last night and bearing all the signs of the werewolf. Get out to the scene, lads.
Yeah, the bum took a swipe at me. Put him down with my saddle.
Do you have the address?
It's been all over KGPL. It's off Temple Street, between Belmont and Glendale. I'd rather you took the wheel.
You're behind the wheel. What happened to Rose?
Parker wants the chief's job. Word is it's either going to be him or Thad Green. So they're both clearing the decks.
So where does that leave you, Galloway?
Leaves me saddled with a chump like you, Phelps. I didn't ask for you and I don't want you, so keep it to yourself. See if you can learn something about seeing how a real cop operates.
What did he mean by the werewolf?
Medallion. The Daily News came out calling him the werewolf killer. The Examiner came up with the Black Dahlia.
Are we any closer to catching him?
Not a chance. 6 months and hundreds of guys running down leads and we got nothing.
You don't think this has anything to do with it?
No, I don't. 90% of murders are domestic, Phelps. Some guy gets into a beef with his wife, he takes it too far. This will be the same. But cutting someone in half and leaving them off the sidewalk, that's a one-off.
Why so many women this year?
Because of the war. You should know that. Guy gets to kill people every day in combat. Comes home, he's expected to take lip from his wife. What do you think's gonna happen?
It's that simple.
Like I said, most of the time it is.
How about a scoop for the Examiner, Galloway? You could use some good press.
Another tramp, another message. Is the werewolf back in business, boys?
Do you have a mother, asshole? A sister? How about showing some respect for this poor woman? Let us do our job, and Detective Galloway will give you a statement later.
He's good, Rusty. He even sounds genuine.
That's Phelps, guys. The war hero. Defending the honor of murdered humps.
Get used to it, Phelps. Move it along, guys. You got your pictures, you got your headlines. Now scram.
Patrolman, this your beat?
Yes, sir. Well, part of it. Kids park here, they use it like a lover's lane. It's a working neighborhood. Some trouble, but nothing like this. It's known locally as the morgue.
You were first on the scene?
Yes, detective.
No one's disturbed the body?
No, sir. We cleared out them vulture reporters so Pinker and the coroner could work. They're waiting to talk to you.
Go house to house and see what you come up with. Carruthers.
Phelps, you make homicide?
Looks like it. Galloway has been making me feel welcome.
I bet he has.
Has the scene been secured?
Patrolman Houlihan saw to it. The victim's personal effects are still where they fell.
Cause of death?
It could be the head injuries. She has been badly stalked. The cuts look superficial. I'll know for sure in an hour.
What caused the blunt force injury to the face?
Could be anything from a baseball bat to a lug wrench. I'll have more details after the autopsy.
What about this wound on the finger?
Something removed, a ring most likely. I assume it was taken post-mortem.
Interesting. What does the writing on the victim mean?
BD, like Dahlia, Tex. Your guess is as good as mine. Could be something to it, or it could be the killer's trying to throw you off the scent. Either way, I'll run tests on the lipstick.
Any idea of the time of death?
From the temperature, I'd say after midnight. I'll confirm with you later.
Looks like some kind of puzzle or parlor game. Bomba Club. Why steal a table lighter? I'm at a loss.
It's a crime scene, isn't it? Don't just stand there, take a look around.
The victim's bag? Looks brand new. Can't be the one used on the body. What can you tell me about the shoe prints?
Men's size 8s. Pinker lifted impressions for me to compare back at the lab.
When we get to the Bomba, a man could die of thirst in a case like this.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
And where exactly are we going?
Thank you for
The werewolf?
For my money, a copycat.
We can't rule it out. We need to work the evidence.
You'd love that, wouldn't you? A big head to hang on your wall. The caller of the decade. You've been working evidence on BD case for 6 months and got nicks.
There's a difference, Rusty.
Oh, yeah?
I just started working it today.
Okay, oddshot. What's more likely? The werewolf comes back around, leaving us unknown in a corpse?
He clearly has a thing for power. Power over women. Why not power over the police department as well?
Let me finish, Phelps. A guy opens his mouth again after 6 months of stewing. For some opportunist who's been reading about the BD figures, he'll rip off the MO and get himself a freebie.
That's not totally fantastical.
You know, the Examiner and the Daily News might be good at coming up with monikers, but they're terrible for police work. If there's a reason we didn't get the son of a bitch after the short murder, it was them, locusts.
Where do you think the werewolf killer is now?
Dead by his own hand, stationed somewhere else with the armed forces. San Quentin, another town, another country, who knows? So, Phelps, I understand you want to turn this into a big case, but it doesn't work like that, all right? A case will come and find you. Can't make it something it ain't, understand?
So you don't think the werewolf has continued to operate in the Los Angeles area?
No chance. We would have found him.
Nice. Really?
Gentlemen, what can I get you?
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. Were you working here last night?
Yes. How can I help, officer?
You can start with your name.
Garrett Mason.
You're the regular bartender on nights?
I'm a temporary barman. I work for an agency. I fill in at bars across town.
Do you remember a woman who came in here last night? 5'7", about 110 pounds, blonde hair, about 40 years of age.
You mean Celine Henry?
Yes. Do you know anything about her?
I don't. But the owner, Mr. McCall, serves her most nights. Would you like to speak to him?
I would.
He sits at the back of the club. Wears a hibiscus. You can't miss him. Is there anything else?
Fire away, Phelps. I'll stay here. I'm a little parched. Pour me 3 fingers of rye.
So, where's that goddamn waitress?
You going to pay for that?
Detective Phelps, LAPD. We're investigating the murder of Celine Henry. Do you know her?
Celine? Oh, Christ. Sure I know her. She and I and Jacob, her husband, we go way back.
She was here last night?
Sure, she's a regular. Celine was a lovely woman. If you're waiting for a free drink, it ain't coming.
Was Mrs. Henry here with anyone last night?
Not at first. Celine already had quite a head start.
But she attracted attention?
Certainly. A few gentlemen became very enamored with her and her stories. One guy in particular.
You know him?
No. He's been in a couple of times.
Did they leave together?
Yes. At around 11. If it helps, I made the guy's license plate.
A waitress.
I think this could be a great help, sir. Thank you. You know the husband?
Sure, I know Jacob. He was in the Corps. He met Celine on a furlough and married her when the war was finished. He put up with a load of shit.
Do you think he killed his wife?
No. No, not in my opinion.
So if it wasn't Jacob, then you probably let her out of here with the guy who killed her. How do you feel about that?
Stow the attitude, will ya? I tried to get onto Jacob. I rang him up. Asked him to come pick her up like usual. But he refused. She picked some night to push him over the edge. I rang him back around 11:30, but got no answer.
Mrs. Henry appeared to be missing a ring, torn from her finger, but not her wedding finger.
Celine always wore a red garnet ring on the large side. Larger than life, like Celine herself.
Did she have it a long time?
Sure. Since way back in her flying days.
Did her husband buy it for her?
No, it was before Jacob.
I think you know where the ring came from, and I think you're gonna tell me.
Okay. I bought it years ago. I carried a torch for Celine in those days. Guess I always have. Her old man never knew about it.
Thanks, Mr. McCole. You've been a big help. One more thing. Would you have an address for Celine?
142 North Union Avenue. God knows I had to send her home in enough cabs to remember that.
He drove me up to Mulholland and we did some looking.
Let's get out of here.
Hey, what's the hurry? My stool was just starting to warm up nicely.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need a registered owner on a license plate, 2boy8899.
Yes, Detective. I'll need to contact the DMV. Shall I relay the details via KGPL?
Please. Thanks for your help.
You ought to meet Joe's buddy. He's nice. Really.
You know the way. You can drive.
Fine. Where are we headed?
This is...
You find the booze helps you get through a working day?
Sharpens my investigatory instincts, Phelps.
A smart lawyer might use that to throw out anything you collect today.
Smart man might know it's unwise to stand between the patient and his medicine.
As long as you're not falling over, Rusty, I'll let it slide.
That's mighty kind of you, Phelps. You know, you picked the wrong job if a healthy thirst offends you, Cole.
We owe it to this city to do the best we can in this position. As homicide detectives, that responsibility is all the more serious.
Always the politician.
It's not political, it's practical. Maybe the men combing Hollywood Boulevard after the Elizabeth Short murder were more interested in sniffing out booze than the clues that would have led to her killer.
Yeah, well, if only you'd been there, choir boy. Betty Short would be alive, the Japs would have spared Pearl Harbor, our ancestors wouldn't have tasted the forbidden fruit.
Minor syntactical error, Detective Galloway. I never claimed to be able to prevent crimes. I only suggested a proficiency in solving them. Guess that's the drink slowing you down.
Oh my God, brother, oh brother. It's worse than I could ever have imagined. I'll try the back door. Wait here a second. Side window's been jimmied. Looks like somebody's creeped the joint.
You said I had to go back, Doctor.
The fires are cathartic. They allow you to confront your past.
You said the house would be empty.
Are you taking the medication I have prescribed?
You said the house would be empty. I heard them screaming.
Circumstances were unfortunate. My colleagues had made all the necessary
You
arrangements.
said the house would be empty. You're killing me.
The deaths were unfortunate, but you have dealt with death before.
I want you to come to the clinic and we can deal
You said the house would be empty. How can I find peace?
Doesn't look like anything. Doesn't give me anything to go on. Size 9s, above average for a lady.
Burglar used the pry bar. Why did you kick the door in?
You think I'm gonna climb through a broken window in a $30 suit? You got another thing coming, Buster.
This doesn't pertain to the case.
Celine and Jacob are obviously having problems. It speaks to motive.
Crime scene evidence still weighs against it being the husband, but Jacob could give us something to go on. One of my exes drank like this, you'd be feeling the back of my hand.
Call in burglary and get technical services out here. I'll talk to the neighbors.
Don't take all day about it, Phelps. I'll get nasty when I'm thirsty. Galloway, homicide, badge number 564. Requesting technical services for a suspected 459 at 142 North Union.
It doesn't appear to be connected.
Tiffany? The rest of the stuff is junk. Might explain the missing ring.
Junk.
A regular Amelia Earhart in her day. The ring looks distinctive. LAPD. Are you acquainted with Celine Henry, Miss?
Horgan. Jennifer Horgan. I've known Celine for more than 10 years. Our children grew up together. What's going on, officer?
Did you see Mrs. Henry go out last night?
Well, I'm no busybody, you understand, but Celine had been drinking. And she and poor, long-suffering Jacob had a terrible row. I think Jacob may have given her a black eye. He stormed out and she went back inside.
Did he come back?
No. Celine was listening to music and shouting until she left around 10 p.m. She was very drunk to have been driving. But she is not the sort of person you can stop from doing something when her dander is up. What is this about, officer? Is Celine all right?
I'm afraid Mrs. Henry has been murdered, ma'am.
Murdered? Oh, my God. I'm afraid I need to go and sit down.
Let's see what Jacob has to say for himself.
I don't think Jacob is our man, but we should see what he has to say.
Can you drive to this one?
And where exactly are we going?
Jacob Henry had a violent argument with his wife last night. He's looking more and more likely.
For my money, if the broad keeps the house looking like that, she probably deserved it. The skipper says bring him in to keep the hacks off our backs for a while.
Fine by me.
So it ain't the werewolf killer after all. Good to see you've come to your senses, Cole.
I always said work the evidence. I only stipulated a connection to the BD killer as an avenue of investigation we should leave open. And as far as I'm concerned, it still is.
Okay, Phelps, we go in hard. You follow my lead. You Jacob Henry?
Yeah.
Who's asking?
LAPD. You're under arrest for the murder of your wife, Celine Henry.
Murder? Celine?
Save the dramatics
Oh,
for
my God.
RKO, pal. You got bigger problems.
What the hell are you talking about? You come in here, you tell me that Celine is...
Take a seat, Mr. Henry.
she's-
We're going to have a look around, then we'll talk.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
I get even the slightest hint that you're a flight risk, pal. You think the atmosphere's thick in here? Wait till you try the gas chamber.
The oldest problem there is, what to do about the old lady.
He'll be back in a minute. Just sit tight.
Size 11s. So who could have killed Celine? Where did she go last night, Jacob?
A bar, I suppose. Look, I don't know.
You know where she went, Jacob. You're lying. Why would I help you if you keep lying to me?
Look, I'm telling you, I don't know.
We know she went to the Bomba Club.
The bartender there, he calls me if things are getting out of hand, and I go and I bring her home. He called me last night. I said no. Phone rang a couple more times after that. I ignored it. I'm gonna have to live with that.
When did you last see your wife, Mr. Henry?
Last night. I went to see her. We talked. Things got a little out of hand. I left.
You don't remember what time you last saw your wife alive?
Look, I'm sorry. I left. Maybe 9 p.m. Might have been a little later, but right around 9.
Why did you kill her, Jacob? Things will go better if you come clean about it.
That's a lousy thing to say. I never gave up on my wife.
I don't believe you, Jacob. I think you didn't have the guts to do it yourself, so you had someone else do it.
You want to back that up with something, Big Mouth? Huh?
The note by the phone suggests you meant her harm.
You want the truth? Truth is, I was sick to death of her. I was trying to have her committed.
We're still going to need you to come downtown, Mr. Henry.
We can get this all down on paper, Jacob. How you got fed up with your wife and how you figured killing her would bury all your troubles.
Kill my own wife?
She was a lush and a tramp, and you just couldn't stand it anymore.
Shut your goddamn mouth!
So now you're gonna tell me you loved her? Ah, the DA goes all gooey over remorse, Jacob.
This doesn't look good for you, Jacob.
Call it in and get a squad car dispatched. And check for messages. I'll keep old Slugger here company.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need a patrol unit to transport a suspect back to Central.
Certainly, Detective. You have a message from the coroner. Do you wish to be put through?
Yes, ma'am.
Carruthers,
It's Phelps.
I've completed the autopsy. Several wounds to the head from a blunt metal instrument. Closest match would be a socket wrench handle.
So the cause of death was the blunt...
No, the blows to the head surprisingly were not fatal. Death was from hemorrhage and shock from the fractured ribs and multiple injuries caused by the stomping.
Anything else?
He's some kind of sex fiend. The tissues of the anus were bruised about 1/8 of an inch, but no trace of semen in the anus, vagina, or stomach.
Thanks, Doc.
Operator, give me R&I.
Any word on an owner for that vehicle? License was 2boy8899.
Yes, Detective. The plate belongs to a brown 1936 Pontiac. Registered owner is one Alonzo Mendez of 402 South Fremont Street, apartment 16.
Thanks. Any other messages?
One, Detective. From Captain Donnelly. He wants any and all suspects returned to Central. Interviews to be set up immediately.
Got it. We're coming in. You can drive.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Brother said she took a real pounding.
Maybe if he had been a little firmer in the beginning, he wouldn't be in this situation now.
I imagine that Neanderthal routine is a big hit with the ladies, Galloway.
Women love me, Phelps. I have no complexity. They know exactly what they're gonna get.
We have a firm lead, Captain.
Are you questioning my judgment, Cole Phelps?
No, sir.
Good. I thought not. Jacob Henry is a sob-sister pushed around by his wife. I think with the right kind of persuasion, he might be prepared to seek absolution. Are you prepared to show him the error of his ways, young Phelps?
I don't think he's our man. Galloway agrees with me.
Don't drag me into this.
Rusty is a practical policeman. A bird in hand is always worth two in the bush. Let's liberate a confession from poor Jacob and the public will sleep easier tonight. Run along now, folks. I've warmed them up nicely for you.
Straight through the red. Said she never saw it.
Doesn't look good, Jacob. You're in a big jam here. You lie to me, and I can't help you out. Do you understand me?
Yes. Please believe me, I didn't kill my wife.
You did it. Everything points to you. What does Tex mean, Jacob?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I need a reason to believe you, Jacob.
You want a confession? That's what you want?
That's exactly what we want.
Seems to me there are two types of marriages. First, where the couple love each other equally and everything's roses. And then there's the other, where one person loves the other more than life itself and always puts them first. Chumps like me, who love them no matter what, no matter how badly they behave. That's it. That's my confession. I love my wife. And I'll take any test you got to prove it.
Your marriage was over. You took her in and she threw it back in your face. You didn't go over there to hurt her. It just got out of hand.
It's not how it was.
You're lying, Jacob. It was falling apart and things got violent.
I'm not lying. I'm telling you how it was.
Jenny Horgan says you blackened her eye.
It's all right, Jacob. The DA will understand. In your shoes, I would have done exactly the same thing.
I hit her. All right? I'm not proud of it, but she was coming at me with a frying pan. What would you do? I took it for years, but sometimes a man can only take so much.
What do you do for work, Jacob?
I'm a mechanic. Engines, differentials, transmissions, that kind of stuff.
So you have access to tools?
Yes, I do.
Your wife was brutally beaten with a socket wrench handle, then stomped to death. How do you think that looks, Jacob?
I was home in bed.
You're full of shit, Jacob. The truth is you hated that bitch. You followed her and dragged her into the car and then took her out to the moors. She woke up and you smashed her face in with a socket wrench.
No.
And then you stomped her. You stomped her because she's a drunken whore and she treated you like shit. You stomped her for all the years you had to take it. You stomped her because you are such a weak fucking sister, Jacob, and you wanted to erase all memory of it. Go on. Try to deny it.
I was at home. I should have gone to her at the bar, but I didn't. You can't prove I wasn't home.
I can. The bar owner, McCall, gave you up. He called your house right at the time that someone was smashing Celine's skull in and got no answer. If we find that socket wrench, you're gonna fry. Get it off your chest. Tell me you killed her.
I killed her, all right. I killed her dreams. She was an aviator, famous in her day, flying around up there like a bird. But she never wanted to come back down. You know, my pop was a sod farmer, dirt poor. I joined the Corps, trained to be a mechanic. I did better than my father did. I worked hard for it. It's all you can ask of a man. But Celine, she never wanted to come down from the clouds. She wanted everything I couldn't give her. All I had was security. That was never going to be enough.
Why did you break into your wife's house, Jacob? Why steal the ring?
What? What are you talking about? I've got a key. Why would I need to break in?
You took the ring because you found out who gave it to her.
What are you talking about?
Her prized garnet ring, given to her by her old boyfriend, Dick McCall.
I never knew that. I lived with that woman for 3 years, and I never knew that. Well, in that case, I think you should be talking to Dick McCall.
We'll do the detective work, lunkhead. Just answer the questions.
I'll see what I can do for you, Jacob. But I'm not promising. It still looks bad for you.
Phelps, you failed me, son.
We have another lead, Captain. This guy Mendez could be our man.
I hope so, Phelps. I really hope so. I'm deeply disturbed by your style of police work.
We can still pull down a conviction for the skipper if we chase down this Mendez guy.
You're behind the wheel.
And where exactly are we going?
Alonzo Mendez. Sound like a man who moonlights as the werewolf?
Don't sound like a man I'd let my daughter anywhere near.
You've got a daughter.
Spend enough time drinking, Cole, you'll find yourself with any number of things you don't want when you're sober.
So that's why you never sober up.
Exactly.
Mendez, apartment 16.
Here, the apartment's up on the top floor.
Don't bother knocking, just kick the door in. Take a look around and see what you can find.
loyalties to Ray. Size 8s could help place Mendez at the scene.
Maybe if... No. No good to me.
Brothers could match the color and brand of the body. Consistent with Celine's injuries, and the blood can be typed.
We have the murder weapon. You better get Pinker down here.
Why keep it? Why not throw it away?
Think these clowns are geniuses? Thank your stars you caught a break, and Captain Donald will begin to like you.
Hey, what gives? LAPD, you're under arrest.
Do not lose that son of a bitch. I'll go get our wheels.
Mendez, stop right there. You don't need to do this, Alonzo.
Get in and drive. Hit it! Clean this asshole off the road. I got an idea. Get him next to my window, Cole. Keep me alongside his vehicle and I'll stop the son of a bitch. Hit him, Cole. Spin him out.
You're under arrest for the murder of Celine Henry. Show me your hands!
I ain't saying a goddamn thing.
You did a grand job, lads. Phelps, that's quite a way to acquit yourself in your first outing as a homicide investigator. It seems the city has a new and vengeful guardian. Considering the evidence against your suspect and the thoroughness with which a report was compiled, I foresee a safe passage through the courts, and the DA agrees with me. Brutality on a scale such as this deserves retribution. The people and the press of this city demand it.
I need something to soothe this pain, to cool the lava you pump through my veins, 'cause I'm burning up for you.
Galloway. Got it, Skipper. Yeah, I'll bring him. He's my partner, after all.
What have we got?
New case. White female dumped in plain sight in the grass at the end of Hill Street. Hacks are all over it. Captain's trying to fend them off.
That sounds awfully similar.
The first rule of police work is make no assumptions until you've seen the evidence. Skipper wants you to have your newspaper face on, college boy. I think I know the place where they found the lady. It overlooks Sunset Boulevard. Let's go.
That bum took a swipe at me. I put him down with my sack.
I survived the war for this?
Did you read about the woman who stabbed her husband and then pushed him in front of the car?
Can you drive to this one?
You did a decent job on the Henry case, Phelps. Not bad for your first time at bat.
Thanks, Rusty.
But don't go getting ahead of yourself. That's one clearance under your belt. Now it's a new day with a new dead lady that needs our attention.
And no assumptions until we see the evidence, right?
Right. See, I knew you were a fast learner, Phelps. We might get along after all.
Now, boys, you know as much as I do. I'll be holding a press conference once the autopsy's been completed. I have two of my finest investigators on the case, fresh from bringing down the sword of justice on the crazed sex
Captain, aren't there similarities between this murder and the murder of Celine Henry and of Elizabeth Short, for that
So you don't
matter?
believe there's a crazed sex killer at large preying on women?
Boys, be sensible. We have the greatest police force in all the world with the greatest scientific investigators at our disposal. How can any killer continue to be that? Be advised. We keep the gas chamber at San Quentin primed for the sons of Cain who continue to believe they can take a life in the City of Angels.
Yeah, right. Any new leads in the Dahlia case?
Run along, boys, and let these officers get to work. We have God's work to do here, and it can't be delayed.
What do we have, Captain?
Another woman sacrificed. Speak to Carruthers. I want daily reports, gentlemen.
Detective, I was first on scene.
If olive oil comes from olives, where's baby oil come from?
You find her, Gonzalez?
Not me. A family out for a stroll. I was first reporting.
Can you show me the body?
It's under the pepper tree, this way.
This is awful. Just awful.
Can't be much help to you, Phelps.
Here she is.
Similar MO.
To what? The Dahlia? I don't think so.
Celine Henry.
That's a closed case. This is probably another sad sack who lost his temper with a broad who wouldn't put out.
Are you a suspect, Rusty?
Watch your mouth, Phelps. All I'm saying is we got enough to do without reopening closed cases.
Talk me through it, Mal.
Severely battered, on display. Footprints would indicate that she has been stomped. Size of the footprints would seem to indicate a smallish men's shoe. What size shoe did Mendez wear?
You finished?
No, I'm not. At a glance, I would say strangulation was the cause of death. I'll need to do further tests for semen.
Angry boyfriend. If they were married, they'd be at home, not humping out here in Lover's Lane.
You mind if I examine the body?
Be my guest.
Looks like she was tied up.
It does at first, but that would leave a mark on her other wrist, too. I think her watch might have been torn off. You catch all the good ones, Phelps.
Ligature mark is very
Distinctive. I'll do some comparisons back at the lab and get back to you. Just when I think I've seen it all.
What's this mark? A cut on a finger.
Fourth finger, left hand. A wedding or engagement ring. Violently removed.
The stomping angle in the Henry case, was it reported in the press?
Sure was. Every detail a copycat would want was there in the story. Never the same.
Well, we have a name. Can you run Deirdre Muller by RNI?
Back in a second.
If the motive was robbery, why not take the money?
Detectives, RNI says a Deirdre Mahler of 130 North Bonnie Bray was reported missing this morning by her husband, Hugo Mahler.
What'd I tell you? Just grab the husband, take him downtown, and work him over. We could have this wrapped up by lunchtime.
What about not making assumptions and going on the evidence? You know the way. You can drive.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Hey, cigarettes. There still might be some playing the boyfriend angle.
I thought we were on our way to lock up the husband.
If he doesn't work out, that is.
Deirdre Muller has suffered enough. More than enough. You shouldn't make disparaging comments about her without even the slightest inkling of what she was like.
She was a woman, wasn't she? Well, around about my third divorce, I realized women might not be the pure angels we imagine. You're married, ain't you, Phelps?
Don't make any insinuations about my wife.
Hey, she's a woman.
She's the mother of my children.
You're a father, Cole? Don't tell me your eye don't bend.
This conversation is over.
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. Is your father home?
He'll be home soon. He's been out looking for Mommy.
What's your name, miss?
Michelle Eloise Mahler?
Can we come in?
I suppose so.
Thank you. Could you have a seat for me, Michelle? We're gonna have a look around.
He'll be back any moment. Just sit tight. Martin will explain everything when he gets back, okay?
Work boots. Size 8s. Elgin wristwatch. Probably the same one snatched from her body. No sign of a wedding ring.
Is this about Mommy? Daddy is trying to find her. Please tell me she's okay.
I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Michelle, but your mother is dead. Do you think you could answer a few questions for us?
Could try.
When did you last see your mother?
Yesterday afternoon, I went to a dance at Belmont High. Mommy was supposed to pick me up, but she didn't show.
So what did you do then?
I was upset. Daddy came instead.
So you were hanging around the school for quite a while. What happened with your father?
I don't know. I called and called, and finally he answered. He came straight away then.
Some of your mother's jewelry was missing. Can you describe her things?
A ring, a watch. I never paid much attention to that stuff.
I know it's painful, Michelle, but this may be important. She wore a wedding ring?
Amy chose it herself. A rose gold wedding band and a matching diamond and ruby engagement ring.
She wore a watch?
Yes, a yellow gold Elgin watch. Daddy bought it for her birthday. We had a fight. It was kind of a makeup present.
Your mom and dad are happily married?
What are you saying? Of course they are.
They weren't happy, were they, Michelle? Did your father ever hit your mother?
Just the once. She said she would leave him if he ever did it again. He bought her a brooch pin to make up for it. And he always wore her golden butterfly.
Thanks, Miss Muller. You have been very brave.
Hey! What gives?
Daddy, the police
Go to your
are
room,
here.
please, Michelle. I'll talk to the police.
Daddy, Mommy is gone.
Go to your room, young lady. She's not even out of school. You can't come in here interrogating her like she's
Your
some
wife
kind
was
of...
found murdered this morning.
Found? What the... But she only...
We have some questions that we would like to ask you.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I'll do my best. Please, if that's all, please just leave.
What size shoe do you wear, Mr. Muller?
Why do you ask?
It's routine, sir. Simple process of elimination.
9s, I think.
Why are you lying to me, Mr. Muller?
Why would I lie to you at a time like this?
That's funny. The work boots we found here are size 8s. Why lie about it if you've got nothing to hide?
Because I always get teased about the size of my feet. You know, small feet, small...
Always been true in my experience.
You phoned in a missing persons report this morning?
Yeah, that's right. My wife didn't come home last night. She left around 9:30. Michelle was out at dance. She called me to let me know that Deidre didn't turn up.
Did your wife ever go out by herself? To bars, nightclubs?
No. What are you suggesting? You suggesting my wife's loose? Now is not the time for you to be pushing me, mister.
Your daughter said you were having an argument.
We argued about who would pick up Michelle. I worked a full day. I wanted to come home, put my feet up.
So you were here all night? You stayed in while your wife went out to pick up your daughter?
Yes, that's correct.
You should come clean if you're having an affair, or if there's something going on.
I told you I was here. Were you saying I wasn't? Please, if that's all, please just leave.
So why did you take so long to answer the phone when your daughter called?
Okay, I went out for a while. I was driving around. It's my way of relaxing.
Your wife was beaten and then strangled. In your case, you have no alibi and a history of violence towards your wife.
That's not true, god damn it.
It is true, Hugo. You're a violent man. You try to keep a lid on it at home, but sometimes you lost control. Your daughter and your wife were scared of you.
You don't know anything about me.
I know about the golden butterfly, Hugo, and how you bought your wife off the last time you heard her.
She liked to spend money, all right? Dresses, jewelry, her hair. It drove me goddamn crazy. Do I look like a Rockefeller?
Nobody likes a cheapskate, Hugo.
Getting hostile with us is a very bad idea, Hugo.
I'm no murderer.
Make some arrangements for your daughter, and then present yourself to Central Station for questioning.
You gotta be kidding me, Phelps. Put the cuffs on him.
This is an outrage. I didn't kill my wife.
Your daughter is in the next room, Muller, so I'm giving you a break. Don't make me change my mind, and don't make me come looking for you.
We should go back in there and bust his ass.
1, we need to break his alibi. Check phone records, canvass the neighbors. 2, we have motive of domestic violence, which probably goes for half the men in LA. 3, we have no evidence tying him to the crime scene.
Hello, detective.
Yes, ma'am.
I heard the terrible news over the radio.
And you can help us with our inquiries?
Yes, sir. They had a row last night. I heard Mrs. Muller screaming.
Did you see Mrs. Muller come home late last night at all?
No, not at all. I did see Mr. Muller put something in the incinerator earlier this morning, though.
I told you he was our guy. Now let's get this bum downtown and into a cell.
Look, there he is now.
Step away from the incinerator. Don't let him get away.
Okay, but no shooting. We need this guy to make the case.
There he is. See him?
This doesn't look good, Hugo.
I can explain the blood.
Get him booked in at Central, officer. Then put him in an interview room. We'll be speaking with him later. And inform the captain.
Yes, sir, detective.
Is there someone you can call, miss?
I don't want home and
You need somewhere to stay, Michelle. You have other family? Grandparents? Aunts or uncle?
call Aunt Helen, but she lives in Bakersfield and
Call her. We're gonna get someone down here from Juvenile Hall to talk to you in the meantime.
We ought to get some uniforms down here, clean up, take care of the kid. Galloway, Homicide Division, badge number 564.
Go ahead, Detective Unit.
Can we get Ray Pinker and a technical services team to a house at 130 North Bonnie Bray Street? And send someone down from Juvenile Hall to look after a young lady.
Roger, 11K.
But I'm not with him for the conversation.
Detective Phelps that the coroner has a report waiting. Police morgue downtown when he's available.
Got it, KGPL.
Someone ought to take him home.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address on a Belmont High School.
Checking for you, Detective. Belmont High, 1575 West 2nd Street.
Thank you. You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
And where exactly are we going?
Isn't he the cop they've been talking about on the radio?
I'm surprised, you know. I didn't make the husband for it.
Always make the husband, Phelps. 9 times out of 10, it's the closest person to the Vic who does the deed. God knows I wanted to kill some wives in my day.
Lex parsimoniae.
What?
The law of parsimony. Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is most likely the correct one.
You know, you could have said that without getting all liturgical on me.
I'll try to dumb things down from now on.
Appreciate it. And try this one on for size. Rusty's razor.
How's that go?
You blame the guy that's banging her.
Ah, of course. Famous Lex ignoramus.
Closes cases, Cole. Puts a lot of people away, that one.
The American Century Broadcasting System.
Phelps, Rusty, thanks for coming.
Can you blood type the shoes that we bagged and see if they're a match?
Sure. It'll all be in the report, but I'm assuming you want the details now?
Please. Cause of death is strangulation?
Correct. Take a look at the samples on the bench.
What are the normal uses for that kind of rope?
On boats, mooring lines.
Correct. Although Ray says that they're sometimes used as bell ropes in churches.
So are we looking for a sailor or a minister?
Well, in my experience, sailors seem to have the greater libido.
Was Mrs. Muller criminally attacked?
No external or internal traces of semen.
Thanks, Mal. Anything else comes up, you let us know. The shoe prints?
Size 8s. Very similar to the impressions from the Henry case.
Now, who do we remember got caught in bloody size 8s? I think we have our bird.
We've got to nail this guy.
Okay, if you're finished jawing, we need to get moving.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Are there any messages for me?
Yes, Detective. A green 1946 coupe, registered to Mrs. Hugo Mueller, has been found in the parking lot adjoining the Belmont High School and playing fields. Captain Donnelly wants you to head down there immediately to take the school janitor's statement.
Thanks. Can you drive to this one?
Fine. Where are we headed?
Not exactly the happiest of places, the coroner's office.
Carruthers is a good man, professional, diligent. If you're working with a pro, it's easy to overlook the grim realities of a place like that.
Funny job, that, the coroner's.
How so?
You don't want them enjoying their work too much. The wrong kind of man can get awfully lonely rattling around a joint full of corpses.
Rusty, that's like something out of the pulps.
You been reading the same ones as me?
I thought you were usually too drunk to get through a magazine.
If I close one eye and squint, you can just about make out the print.
This is the car?
Yes, sir, Detective.
Have you looked it over?
Superficially. I was told to wait for you guys.
Thanks. We'll take it from here. What time did you see the person park the car?
Late last night, after school social, maybe 1 a.m. I've been keeping a good eye out lately. We've had problems with the child molester.
And this was the same man?
I don't know, sir. I'd like to say yes, but truth is, it was pretty dark.
All right. Tell me about this man you've been having trouble with.
He hangs near the playground, tries to befriend the children. He was around here last night before the dance.
Is he violent?
Yes, sir, I would say so, yes. There's the son of a bitch now. Hey, you!
Go, Phelps. I'll take the car and see if I can cut him off.
What's your name?
Who's asking?
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Name's Eli Rooney.
You've been in trouble with the law before, Eli?
Some.
What are you doing around here?
I like to keep an eye on the children.
Strictly paternal, is it, Eli?
Don't sass me, boy.
A woman was abducted here last night, Eli, and murdered.
And I would love to make you for that, you oaky motherfucker.
Well, I wouldn't know nothing about that. A woman, you say? I like 'em a little younger than that.
Turn out your pockets, Eli.
Now, why would I do that?
Because I'm about to break your fucking skull, Eli.
You're under arrest, Eli. You are in very deep trouble.
Why bother with the paperwork, Eli? I'm going to take out my gun, and I'm going to count to 5. Let's see how fast you can run now.
Hang on a goddamn minute. I found that thing in the parking lot.
Get some backup out here, Rusty. We need to get this one downtown and into a cell.
I'll tell them we got a kitty raper coming in. They can roll out the red carpet.
It's from a Chrysler. Could be important.
Blood and skin samples. We better get Ray Pinker out here. The overalls are stenciled HM. Muller is a mechanic. I wonder what Eli does for a living.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need interrogation set up at Central for both suspects being held in the Muller homicide case.
Certainly, Detective. I'll get in touch with the watch commander.
Thanks, ma'am.
You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going? I say we make Rooney for this. I think we should lay it on him. He was near the car, he had her jewelry, the DA will love him for it.
Even if he didn't do it?
Who cares whether he did it? You have kids, Phelps? He needs to be taken permanently out of harm's way.
And we let Muller slide?
For a while. He gets a free pass for now. Better not go soft on me in here, Phelps.
We'll work the evidence, Rusty. Let him do the rest. Are they ready?
Muller's in 2 and the pervert's in 1. Get in there and get a conviction.
Need a drink.
Here's where we stand, Hugo. Your next-door neighbor heard screaming coming from your house. You were burning your blood-stained shoes. You have no one who can confirm your whereabouts last night. Your daughter says you're a violent man. We have everything we need to send you to death row, and all you have to say for yourself is, I didn't do it.
I swear I didn't kill her. Give me that lie test. I can prove it. Why are you just sitting there?
Why did you burn your shoes, Hugo?
Because I knew you'd never believe me.
Believe what?
It's rabbit's blood. A guy at work brought him in and I helped him skin them.
Do you know anything about ropes, Hugo?
As much as the next man. I was a scout. I learned some more in the Army.
You learned to strangle with the rope in the Army?
With rope, with my bare hands, but mainly with wire. I learned a lot of things in the Army, but I still didn't kill my wife.
For argument's sake, what type of rope would you use?
If I had to, I would use a triple braid. Less flex, easier to control.
Your wife was beaten with a tire iron, Hugo. An appropriate choice of tool for a mechanic.
I know nothing about any tire iron.
You're lying, Hugo. You're gonna have to come clean on this.
You got no proof.
Your wife drove a Chevrolet, Hugo. What make of car do you drive?
A Chrysler Airflow.
So I guess that explains why the tire iron that killed your wife came from a Chrysler. We found your wife's car. Someone parked it at the school late last night. Do you have anything to say about that?
It wasn't me.
Where do you keep your work clothes?
I keep them at work in my locker.
Enough lies, Hugo. Your overalls put you at the scene of the crime last night.
My overalls are in the laundry of my house.
Green overalls, blood-stained, with the initials HM found in the trunk of your wife's car.
They can't be mine.
Why, Hugo? Because if they were yours, they'd be in the incinerator too?
Boys, you've really come through this time, haven't you?
I say we bust in there.
Mouthpiece took strips off me at the grand jury. Case got thrown out.
Any ideas?
Let's put the squeeze on that fucking Okie Rooney.
Solve that big case.
Captain, we were on our way to interview Eli Rooney.
Yes, Phelps, I know. This particular fiend is an old acquaintance. I have tried to reaffirm his belief in a wrathful and terrible God. Whichever way it goes, I'll be dealing personally with him.
You look like you've had it rough.
You see me asking for your sympathy, boy? I done 14 years in and out of prison, son. You think you can outweight me? You're wrong.
What size boot do you wear, Eli?
Kind of like anything I can get my hands on. I'm wearing 11s.
You're maybe 5'5", 5'6", tops. And you wear size 11s? I don't think so, Eli.
That might be on the large side. Maybe 10s.
Maybe 8s.
Now that I come to think of it.
Why punish children with your iniquity, Eli?
You think I was never punished?
You must know what you're doing is evil.
Well, son, nobody's perfect.
You down on your luck, Eli?
I've had worse. My family ate roadkill during the Dust Bowl.
But you have a job. A parolee has to have a job, correct?
I had me a job down in San Pedro. I'm looking for something new.
This place you worked have a name?
Hennessy Marine. You can't miss the place. Big yellow letters, HM out front.
They give you any workwear, Eli?
Sure. Green coverall. Dang thing was hot. Felt like I was back in the pen wearing it.
You ever tie up any of your victims, Eli?
It's not a nice thing to go calling them.
What would you call them?
I can't say. I learned a long time ago not to go talking about the things I like. Talking about it just seems to get people's dander up.
Answer the goddamn question, Rooney, before I brain you.
See what I mean? Short answer is yes.
You have any preference regarding rope, Eli?
I know a good rope from a bad rope, if that's what you mean. That's not what you mean, is it? Any old rope will do me fine.
Farm boy like you, Eli, must prefer McGay for roping. Am I right?
I prefer braid. Tie, hitch, and braid. It stays tied.
You killed Mrs. Muller and stole her jewelry.
That ain't so. I ain't done nothing like that.
You have no job and nowhere to live by the smell of things, and you need money. You've been in trouble before, Eli. Who do you think a jury will believe?
I've been in trouble for other things, but I ain't never killed no one. I saw that car coming to the parking lot late last night. Man got changed there and then put his coveralls in the trunk. I saw him drop the butterfly in the lamplight and he strolled out, cool as you like. And I went over and I picked it up.
Eli Rooney, I'm charging you with the first-degree murder of Deirdre Muller.
You want to put me back in the stir that badly, boy? You go ahead and try. I'll beat that rat. I ain't a killer.
Phelps, Galloway, congratulations are at hand. Drink, boys? I think you'll receive a commendation for this one, gentlemen. In the meantime, I'll speak to the DA about expediting the passage of the case. We need swift and merciless justice for poor Deirdre.